done a little one before, but I sort of screwed it up a bit. So I'll do one again. Is cordless equipment better when you're living in a house that's powered by solar panels? Quite simply, yes, it is. It's a lot better to have cordless equipment over mains equipment, not only due to surge on the inverter or anything like that, but quite simply because when they build cordless equipment, they need to keep production costs down so it's a realistic cost, but that means that they won't build some monstrous battery on it. And what it basically comes down to is they have to make one, with mains they don't have to worry about efficiency because they assume it's going to be connected to the grid. And so you get these massive surge ratings and, excess wasting of power where they'll make something a few extra 100 watts just so it looks better on the marketing more or less, make it look more powerful. And indeed it may be, but it's probably a waste of electricity. But with cordless, they're limited with production costs, so that means they're limited in battery size, which automatically means they're limited with how much power they can use. So they make ones that are, yes, often weak, but also very efficient with what power they do have in their batteries. And when you sort of look at it, these batteries, they can be anything from 12 volt to 36 volt, anything from, half an amp hour up to 3 or so amp hours. And quite simply, if you've got an idea of how your system acts by having a display on your charge controller, like I do with the solar fridge, you can almost, get an idea of how much it's going to be to charge it up. Because often the powers, the volts they use with these cordless tools, and cordless vacuum cleaners and things like that, are pretty similar volts to what a solar power system puts out. And of course they also rate these batteries in amp hours. So yeah, it's not sort of too hard to get an idea of how efficient these things are. And yes, they're weaker, but all of a sudden you can realistically use a drill again, you can realistically use a vacuum cleaner again, and while you're not as good as a mains one, well, at least you've still got a vacuum cleaner, you've got a cordless drill. And the other big thing is, that's really good, that you may have not even really considered, is you can charge these things up on a nice shiny day when the sun's out, like it is some of the autumn days here, and on other autumn days when it's dim, I can go and use that tool and conserve what battery charge I do have in the big deep cycles, the big lead acid deep cycles that are on the actual solar system. I can conserve those for using non-cordless things during cloudy days and charge up cordless things during the bright sunny days when I have an excess of power coming in to the solar panels. So yeah, that's why cordless is so good to use when you're living primarily off solar panels.